Okay, lovely savages, or horrendous, nasty savages. I'm going to press the timer. I forget all of these things. Anyway, a bit of a kind of update. If you haven't read it, I put a short post on Instagram yesterday, and the one with the Herman Hesse photograph and quote. Yeah, that 2 3 weeks ago, I encountered an what came to me is an energetic implant. Now, I've come across implants before. I've had implants removed by various people who've worked with me, and I've come across implants and cords in medicine ceremonies, and at times in my own meditations. No medicine involved. I've been aware of. So uh, this came in the form of the awareness of a voice, and the voice was sounded like me. The voice was mine. So I'm not going to talk about this much at all because I'm still working with it. I'm still working my way through it. But also, I realized that it had to be a shift in awareness for me to see this. So when you look back on your life and you look back and say any conspiracies or any, that your eyes are open, or that you see something differently, and there was a moment where I see this now. But before that moment, you didn't see it. Didn't see it. So there was lines of communication within my own mind that I then began to see that this is too far off beam to be me. This is not me. Now, I'm going to try and have an itchy belly. I have fucking mosquito bites all over me, but I I'm trying to watch my language on this, because when I say it's not me, what I mean is ultimately it is all me. Ultimately, it is me. It's a piece of me that I'm now beginning to recognize, an older piece that still has a cord of energy that's no longer required and no longer helpful, because it's like something's shifted. The awareness has moved along the timeline, or there's a different focus, and this voice on that line is no longer relevant. Now, as I've kind of said with a lot of my stuff, that there's two ways to look at these things. That it's like it's the elite that are running the world, and they're going to vaccinate us all, and they're going to, they're controlling us and all the rest. Or they are us. They are me. I have enlisted them and contracted them, those other facets of me, which is consciousness, to push me and test me and prod me. So this implant, you can view it whatever way you want. It's an energetic implant that has been placed in me by other beings, or whoever you want, the fucking elite. I don't know. I don't care. This lifetime, previous lifetimes. And I don't mean physically. I don't mean like a microchip. It's energetic. So if you've worked with ayahuasca or medicines, at times you may come across cords. It's like in the Matrix that we could unplug a cord, and that cord would be siphoning energy from various chakras or organs or different parts of the body. And that's so we live this lifetime and maybe many lifetimes at that level of energy. Those cords were always connected, not just in this, 2021 incarnation, but I mean multiple lifetimes. So we're used to that energy. Don't know anything different. It's like if you grow up, kids who grow up blind, or you grow up, I don't know, without a limb or whatever, you don't know anything different. This is perfect. And then suddenly if you get your sight back, it's like, holy shit, you people could see. It's like, so we're operating on a certain level of energy because our energy is being siphoned off. There is not a single person listening to this who does not have parasites attached to them and siphoning their energy. It always makes me laugh when people kind of think, oh, that's not me. Oh, I don't have I don't have that. Anyway, I won't go down that fucking road. So yeah, in working with that, hearing that voice, recognizing that voice. So the voice sounded like me. It was all that internal dialogue, same as always. But I began to see the difference in frequency between certain things that were said. And it took a few days to realize it, maybe a week or a bit over a week, and to recognize that is, and the term and what came to me was an implant. So it was like a pocket that would communicate at times and just push, just sow little seeds. It's like you when you're drinking or you're smoking or your sugar or your porn or whatever it is, whatever little thing you have, that at times that comes in and says, oh, it's okay to do it now. You've had a hard day. And you go, oh, I have, haven't I? Oh yeah, I've been working really hard. Is that you? Like we think that is. I've touched on it many times, mainly in my stories on Instagram, but I really question that voice. And there is groups out there over the years have really questioned, like, what is the ego? What is the internal voice? Who is it? Where's it coming from? Is it anything to do with us at all? Or is it an external channeled in fucking loudspeaker that we're so used to that we just assume it's normal and we just assume it's us? So around the time I discovered this voice, I got a very bad ear infection, which I still have. And because I do a lot of traveling for my visa, so I didn't really get the time to work through this or to rest. So I'm still working through the ear infection. But isn't that very interesting? I hear a voice that's telling me things. Now, not telling me to go out and buy a gun and fucking slaughter people on the street, or, not hearing voices. I just mean that day-to-day voice, that internal chatter that we all have all the time. There was sections of it that I just started to see differently. And around that time, bang, ear infection. And that was the confirmation of me that it was an implant, that I was onto something. So the voice, the hearing, it's all linked. It's like it's like the fucking implant started to self-destruct as soon as I discovered it. Anyway, I'm moving on. I'll talk about this at another time. I'm already running out of fucking time. What else? Yeah, this is going to coincide with a few things. We're now already in May and we're well on our way to June, which is unbelievable. The year time for me, I might talk about that at another time. Time is going frighteningly fast. I have no grasp of time this year since Christmas. I even feel degrees of anxiety that I say that weeks are passing, and I feel like I'm not really getting anything done at times, or I've just paid my rent and it's like, rent is due. It's like, already? I just paid it yesterday. So yeah, there's like almost just, I'll talk about that another time. But to coincide with what I would like is later on in this year, but time's going so quick, is I'd like to run some San Pedro ceremonies in Mexico. San Pedro is a cactus and that contains mescaline. And I'm actually looking at about a 1 meter tall San Pedro that I picked up about a week ago. A friend picked up for me. So I'd like to run ceremonies here in Mexico for anyone who can make it, or for anyone, tourists come to Acapulco and to various parts of Mexico. So that's a plan. Another plan is that I'm providing my services. I have been a sitter, for people who've done journeys, LSD journeys or different journeys at times. So I'm providing my services as a remote sitter to people. And there would be a framework to that of what the person is taking, how much they intend to take. And if I'm there would be a whole procedure of discussion and my availability during that day. I would make myself completely available. Now, obviously, because of flights and the way the world is, I'm not going to be sitting in your living room, but we would connect during your day a number of times on Zoom, and I would work with you during your day and during your journey. and be available. Now, there would be parameters or whatever the word is about that as well. So we'll see what happens. Anyone interested, get in contact. And that's also to coincide with 2 books that I have on the go. So one is called Triad, and it's about the spirit, body, and mind, as opposed to the mind, body, and spirit. And it's about the spirit, body, and mind, and about the multi-chakra system, or seals, the alignment of them. Now, I know Karen asked about this in one of the Zoom sessions, the public Zoom sessions a few weeks ago, and I've been writing about this for a while. It's about a 14,000 word book. It'll just probably be an ebook. I don't know if it'll probably print it if you want to print on demand. I haven't got to that stage yet. I'm just kind of fine tuning the book. It will be free to people who are subscribers on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/SpawnEvolution. If you're a monthly supporter there, you get any ebooks or stuff that I write, you'll get free. Other people have to buy it. But I also have a second book that is, I don't know when this will be out. I don't know when either of these will be out, but the Triad book should be in the coming weeks. It's nearly finished. I'm just checking my time of a couple of minutes. The second book is a book on microdosing. And it is my experience and the techniques or the types of microdosing I have experienced and continue to experience. So there's the twice a week, 1 day on, 2 days off, which I did in the past with psilocybin. And then there's microdosing LSD with the Stammet stack, which is a 4 days on, 3 days off. Now, personally, I've not done either of these long term, but long term, I did psilocybin for about 3 months. But I would consider that it's not something to rush into. It's something that can bring up stuff that we have to work through. It's therapy in a sense. It's quite deep work, and you need to have the time and space available and be available to work during those however many weeks you intend to do it, or to be in tune enough to say, no, I'm going to stop now. I've done a week or done 3 weeks, and I feel I have stuff that needs to settle. But it brings up it brings up more fucking stuff that needs to be released. So that'll be a book on which I'm working on at the moment, but that's a good bit off. Microdosing psilocybin, I'll cover microdosing LSD, and possibly microdosing San Pedro, which is mescaline. So we'll see. Any questions, let me know. What else can I tell you? I think that's everything. The books, the implant, and the potential for ceremonies later in the year, and then my availability as a remote sitter. So people anywhere in the world who want to journey for a day, you can get in touch with me and you pay me, and we will be in contact throughout your day, or I will be available, and we will do sessions and check in during your day and during your experience. So for this, first of all, I wouldn't be working with anyone with high doses, because I'm not in the same room as you. I don't know what you're going to jump off the balcony, but for low doses, I found it very beneficial for people. That once there's a facilitator there and there's energetic work going on, the person seems to be a lot more open. They don't need huge doses. I don't think we need huge doses of stuff anymore anyway. But I think I'm running out of time, so I'm going to leave it at that. If this is of use. Oh yeah, I have one last thing to say. For all of you, and I know there's loads of you, who read my articles and who don't like them, consider pushing yourself to like, because I know there are people who've made contact. They don't do it because of the algorithm. I've got a feather that's just landed with me. Because of the algorithm, their account will know, or else because their ego, and they kind of don't want me to know that they've read the article and they like the article. I'm encouraging you to, because about half the amount of people who actually like my articles on Instagram, the same amount again do read them. I can see the numbers, but they don't like them. And a lot of you read them consistently. So if you're reading them consistently, please just fucking hit the like button. Anyway, thanks for listening. I think I'm out of time. Good luck and thanks.